All right. Good morning, guys, and welcome to another session with Coach Ray, the market trader. Um, we'll go ahead and start with the risk disclosure. Okay. Just kind of want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, future company, or fund. Um, we all understand that this information is to be used at your own risk and that future trading contains a substantial amount of risk and is not for every investor, and that an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used when trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation, an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we got the risk disclosure out of the way here, guys, we'll go ahead and move on to the financials here, or actually news, and see what the news has in store for us. So looking at the news, we have housing building numbers come in. So we've had I guess a bump in new construction and a bump in issuance of building permits for new construction. We have at 9:15, we have industrial production month over month coming in at 9:15, and then we have capacity utilization coming in at 9:15. Okay, so just a couple of items, and then obviously as we talk about in every session, we have the European option expiration. So options that have exposure to some of the instruments as they expire, they often have effect on future markets. Okay. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure and our financials news, let's go ahead and move on to our charts. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and start with our charts, our instrument of choice to start with anyway, and that is the gold market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove some of our indicators here, and we're just going to take a kind of a top level view, okay, of the markets here. Okay, so we got supply and demand levels, things of that nature. Okay, all right, so here we are. We're going to look at the daily chart, okay, and get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. Okay, so if we just look at the last series of candles over the last number of days, okay, you can see that the market has been trying to head higher. Okay, now it's come into an area where we could see some resistance at let's say 20, let's call it 2760. Okay, so we're at an area of resistance that could cause price to at least stall here for a bit. Okay. We haven't broken structure to the upside, indicating that there is a good number of participants to drive price higher. Okay. And then we come into another area here around 2,800. So I'll go ahead and mark that off on the daily chart. Okay. So these are all areas. This is kind of an area where has the potential of retracing, right? So we've been here once, retraced, came back, didn't even reach the same level, retraced. Are we going to see the same? Are we going to get another little retracement that takes place here? Now, I will say that we have kind of exceeded. Okay, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see if I can remove that. Okay. All right. If you can see this, right, we had drawn before this kind of pattern, right? We were saying that we were in some sort of consolidation and that we were waiting to see if price was going to break this area of consolidation, Well, it has. Okay, we got a very strong uh, close above. Okay, this consolidation pattern, and now we've come back, retested the, I guess, conviction of some of these buyers, and looks like they're still present. Okay, so the fact that we remain, the fact is, if we remain above, okay, this top line that I have drawn here, then chances are we are going to continue to head higher in this market. Okay. All right. So, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. The fact is that we are kind of beginning to break some structure to the upside. Obviously, we have 2760 in our midst. Okay, that we need to get above in order to get up to say 2800. Okay, so right now it looks like we have kind of an inside bar. Okay, inside candle on a relatively strong bullish bar. Okay. All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we have again that break of that consolidation pattern that we were discussing earlier. It came back, tested the conviction of these buyers, and looks like they've stepped in again. Okay, so we have a developing, I don't know, not quite engulfing, but certainly piercing bullish candle here. Okay, so the question is this candle in the next I don't know, hour or so on a 4-hour candle? Is this candle going to manage to close as strong as it is now? Okay, if it does, that could be the trigger, I guess, or the impetus for a continued move to the upside, right? Because we're seeing this, right? If we look from left to right, we can see that price is making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so this is just the natural kind of progression that this instrument is making. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings for now. We don't need to. We have kind of a sense of what's going on the higher time frame. We don't need to look and review the where we stand with respect to this channel. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and focus on some micro items. Okay, so first thing that we're going to take a look at is where is price in relation to value from yesterday. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and locate that here, drag that across to the close. Okay, there we are. Right now, in relation to value from yesterday, we're below it. Okay, so let's go ahead and extend that line to the right here. Okay. Okay, so we are below value. All right, so that while we remain under value, okay, that could lead to further price action. But given what we're seeing on the higher time frame, it leads us to believe that maybe this is just a kind of a pullback for an extension. But nonetheless, okay, nonetheless, we still need to see price to get back inside this value area range. If price is unable to get back inside this value area range, that kind of begs the question: are we going to continue to the downside? Okay, based on the daily and the 4-hour, it seems to give a slightly different view of the world here. So the thing that I'm going to be looking at here is I'm going to go ahead and draw a little bit of a channel here. All right, and see if I can get a break of this channel to the upside. Okay. All right, if I get a break of this channel to the upside, then I feel that this move, I guess, has the participants that we need to drive price further. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. Okay, to start here, let's see if I can locate that initial balance. There it is. Here's our initial balance range. Okay, relatively tight initial balance range, but we're only about 20 minutes into the market. Okay, we're only 20 minutes into the market, so there's some time remaining. Now we are below. Okay, we are below our daily VWAP. Okay, so we drove below our daily VWAP, and now we managed to get above it and hovering almost right on top of it here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP. I'm going to locate kind of a pivot that was made in London. Okay, so here we are. We got price to drive down to an area of demand here. Okay, you can see, and we've reversed away from it. Okay, now we have some buyers here, and during the London session. Okay, now the question is, as long as price remains above this anchored VWAP, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance for price to continue higher. Okay. Even more reason, right, would be for me to see price not only break this channel to the upside. That's kind of my current view, but I also want to see price close inside the value range. If I get those two events, I feel like there's a fair amount of opportunity to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing on the gold. Okay, so let's see if let's go ahead and open up ADR. Okay, so we bounced off the bottom of ADR here. Let's see where ASR is in reference to that. Okay, and we'll take a look. So we're kind of in the middle of the range with respect to ASR. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to add here is I'm going to add my levels. Okay, here. All right, and so these are the levels that I'm going to be tracking in this market. All right, so again, I have a slight bias, I would say, that this is we're going to make maybe another leg to the upside here. It's just a matter of waiting for the right price event to indicate that. And if it doesn't happen, then I know where my risk is, right? I can use the value area low as my kind of indication that price is indeed not going to continue to exceed. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. Nasdaq is on fire. Okay, we'll take a look at Nasdaq here in a bit. All right, just want to kind of wrap up my review of the gold, and then we'll move on to some other markets here. Okay, so we have value area high coming in at the right levels. We got our value area low coming in at value area low is not quite what I expect. So we got 27.43. Okay, 27.43 is kind of our value area low here. All right, so 27.43. Let's see, just make sure 27.43.20 is kind of what we're seeing for a value area low. Okay. All right. So we have just to kind of double confirm, make sure I've gotten capture the right ranges. And indeed I have here. So, okay. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Like I said, if price, my view is that we are going to potentially head higher in this market. But again, I'm not sold on that until we get a break of initial balance high. And if we end up getting a break at the other direction, okay, then I can use the reference level here as value area high as my kind of area of reference to support. In this case, what it looks like is kind of developing into a short. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm just gonna capture this and update this in my 2743.20. Okay. 2743.20. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our crude oil chart. Okay. Since I don't see many questions here coming in on gold. All right. So we'll move on to crude oil. Okay. And let's take a peek here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings. Okay, remove our drawings. We're going to go ahead and shut down some of these things. Oops, that's not one I want to shut down. We'll turn off this and this and this for now. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and open up the daily chart. Okay, and then we're going to take a look and see what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay, well, the market again, if we are looking at these candles of late, okay, well, it seems to be wanting to head higher. Now it looks like it's reached the patch here around 80, where price is beginning to kind of overlap here. We're seeing overlapping price candles here. Okay, so 80 seems to be an area of some sort of resistance. I'm looking over here to the left, and you can see that we've sold off here in the past. Okay, so it's struggling to get above 80. 80 seems to be a level that is being met by sellers. Okay, all right, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, again, we have we had our gap as a result of rollover. Okay, we have I guess on the 4-hour we are starting to develop a little bit of a, I guess, bearish structure here. In order to really embrace this, I would like to see maybe price get below, 77. I guess 77 would probably be an indication for me that maybe that we will maybe head toward some of these lower prices here around 74.80, maybe as low as 73. Okay, that's kind of what I see kind of developing. It's kind of a distribution kind of view that I have right now. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we are again. We have again a series. We had this drop was a result of rollover. We have price, relatively respecting VWAP to the downside. Okay, now we are in some areas where it's would be reasonable to expect to see that there's maybe some buyers that might be interested at these prices. Okay, we are below our EMA. Okay, price has already closed below that. We've kind of retested that once more. So difficult to say whether this area is going to reverse. Historically, it seems to be an area that has garnered some respect in the past. But if we do break some structure to the downside, there's no reason that we can't revisit some of these lower prices, maybe down to 76.64, maybe as low as 75.60. Okay, in this market. All right. Volume delta right now is really neutral, right? We're seeing slightly more. Let's see if I can open this up here a little bit. Slightly, more sell orders than buy orders at this moment in time. Okay, but and as a result, we don't have really a very strong, bullish candle developing here. Okay, relatively neutral candle. Okay, I'm not reading into too much of this right now. Right now, it seems that it wants to head lower. It's come into a patch of maybe some buyers here a little bit, but it seems to be in somewhat of bearish control at the moment. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP. We're going to locate the start of London. There it is. So we see that price is below VWAP and our anchored VWAP. So we just got the open of the market here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay, so initial balance is going to get opened up here. So we just opened up a few seconds ago. So that's our initial balance range. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, so our initial balance range starting lower. Okay, so I expect maybe that our value area is probably going to start is lower in with respect to price. So let's take a look here Thursday and drag that across to the close. Okay, well, we're not technically below value, but we are challenging the lower end. Okay, so this is our value area low right here. Okay, we've come down to it and reversed away from it a couple of times. Now the question is, is this area going to serve as an area where we can lean on a little bit and serve as maybe an area where we potentially could take an execution, as kind of a reversal trade here off a value area low? Or are we going to wait? Okay, are we going to wait for price to break this low, right, which is acting as support, and look for an opportunity um, below it. Okay, something along this lines. Okay. So that would be my bearish scenario, right? We break below value area low, we revisit that same level, and off we go. All right. Otherwise, this level might act as an area of support, right? And we are at least rally back up to VWAP and potentially back to the highs of London. Okay. Often we reverse whatever London has done. So if London is bearish, often the U.S. markets, kind of play a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Okay, we sell off in London and buy up in the U.S. Okay, so that's certainly within the cards, and I would say that we have room at least to, I would say, 78. All right, for maybe a kind of a mean reversion trade back up to 78 before maybe sellers would step in again and cause price to continue lower. Okay, so this is another area that I would look at. Okay, so right, if we're bullish, I would say conservatively you'd want to stay. This would be a kind of a conservative target for this move. It could go higher. I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't be but it's not Nostradamus, right? But certainly there's a possibility that we head back to this VWAP region where maybe sellers will again kind of step into this market. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil. I'm going to go ahead and add my levels here to this market. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and see if we have any questions. All right, these are the levels that I'm tracking in this level. I'm spot checking. So we got 7804 as our value area high. We got 7726 as our value area low. That seems a little bit off, so I'm just going to go ahead and update that here a little bit. Okay, so this is 7726. And then we have, I'll just go ahead and open up our average daily range and average session ranges here, if I can find them. I don't see. Okay, there's average session range. Okay, so we already reached our average session range to the downside. So that could be an indication that we could see, and we're starting to see a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern developing here off of value area low. Okay. All right. Not seeing much in the way of questions here. So we'll move on to the market that everybody likes to look at, and that's the NAS, okay, or the NASDAQ. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a look at this. All right, and indeed, it seems to be a bit on fire. Okay, we've kind of made a vertical move. I don't know, a result of news or what have you, but this seems to be some sort of positive news that's come into the market, and that has resulted in the Nasdaq kind of rallying. Okay, so let's take a look here at the daily chart, and then ask ourselves a question here. Well, we have a very strong daily bar, right, as a result of those 3 30-minute candles. Okay, looks like it's trying to potentially break out of this bearish channel that we have drawn here. Okay, so here we have the channel that I'm speaking of. Okay, so we really technically have not really broken any structure here on the bearish channel side. Okay, it certainly appears that it wants to. Okay, but the event has not taken place. So like I said, we have a bullish engulfing, and it looks like it wants to challenge the high of that bullish or bearish channel, okay, to the upside. Okay, in an otherwise market that's looking to, I guess, wants to head higher. Okay, if I look from left to right, it looks like it does want to continue to the upside here. Okay, all right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, for our chart, here's our rally that we saw. So a number of participants kind of stepped into this market here. I don't know exactly what was the news event here that caused this to happen, but again, it's not my job to know the why. but it's my job to understand that what impact is this having on the structure of the market, and how am I going to respond to it, right? Am I going to sit on the sidelines here and wait for price to come to a known level? That's kind of the area. I'm not going to chase price. Okay. If I was not already positioned, okay, it's too late for me to participate in this. Okay. I need to wait for price to come to me. All right. So, well, let's take a look and see where come to me means. All right. Well, come to me would be something like price coming back down. All right, coming back down to say the high average session range high here at 21,485. Okay, that would be coming to me kind of level. All right, I'm not going to chase price up only to be the last person to buy and then have them reverse the market on me. I don't want to be there. I've been there before. Do not. That's not a good place to be. All right. Let's go ahead and open up our. Let's remove our. What was this bearish channel here? Okay, so we'll just remove this for now. Okay, we know where we're at. We're up on the upper end of that channel on the 4-hour. We see that we have a good amount of volume coming into this market. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, we're going to take a look at the 630 candle and drag that across to the 430 candle. Okay, so you can see that price is above, right, our value, right, indicating that we have some bulls, okay, that have entered the market. All right, some longs have entered the market. Okay, very difficult to participate in a vertical move like this. Very difficult, right, because you always feel like you're taking way too much risk. Okay. So again, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP. Okay. So again, I don't know exactly what happened in this time frame, but some news event that came in was deemed as positive, and that was what caused the market to rally here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my London VWAP, and here we are, prices above that as well. Okay. London VWAP, daily VWAP, we're above our value. All indications are up. Okay, so we're still pre-market here. Okay, so we're about 20 some odd minutes from the equities opening up here. All right, so we've already exceeded our ASR range from London. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open that up for let's see, our daily range and see where we stand there. And looks like we are above that as well. Appears. Let's see. It sure does appear that way. Okay. Yeah, we're above that as well. So again, all indications point to up at the moment in crude. I mean, in NASDAQ. All right. So the question for us is, where do I participate? Well, again, I've given you this level here. This could offer us an opportunity to the upside. Okay. We could also look later and see if maybe price comes back down. It may not come down in this session, but there's the expectation is that there's going to be a little bit of a reversal, okay, in this market, and then maybe that's where a little bit of retracement, I should say, a little bit of a retracement in this market, and that's what I want to be a part of, right? I want to be part of a retracement of price and not be part of a retail buy here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and open up our levels here that I'm tracking in this market here. Okay. So here are my levels. Okay. So I have the 22,000 level, which is obviously a ways away. And then we have our average session range, which you exceeded. We've exceeded our value area high and average daily range high. So all these levels have been exceeded. Okay. But now that they've been exceeded, they could be supportive on the way back. Okay. So the expectation is if we do get a little bit of a retracement, that 21,485 would be, and I know that's, ways away now. Okay. But that could be an area of support. Otherwise, I need to wait for this initial balance range to establish. Okay. And hopefully it established a relatively tight range. And then I can use initial balance as a reference for me to support an execution. for me right now, like I said, I'm going to be conservative. Okay. I usually am. And I will wait for price to come down to this level. If it doesn't come down to a price I can manage and manage my risk, I'm not in the trade. It's not it. My mindset cannot support feeling the feeling of chasing. Okay, I won't manage it well. I'll end up closing the trade far earlier than I need to. Okay, so I'm going to maybe if I wanted to look at it on a 2 minute time frame, and see if I can catch a little bit of a dip in price here. Maybe there was a few dips here that would have maybe you could have been a part of here earlier. Okay, that might be a way to trade it. I'm going to hold out to some price around say 520. Okay, is kind of where I'd like to see this maybe retrace back to before. So this is kind of would be my. I'm going to draw in a little bit of a box. Okay, this would be my buy zone here. Okay, this would be my buy zone somewhere in this range. I need to see some sort of pullback and reaction away from this level in order for me to participate. If it continues to run, it's going to run without me. I'm not going to be a part of this because I know that sellers could potentially step in at any moment in time, and I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, I'm going to let the price play out. I'm going to let the market open here. We're not even officially open. This is pre-market, and then decide from there. Okay. So let's see. I think I've already added my levels here to this chart, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Okay, so it's just going to spot check some of these. So we have value area high. It's okay. It's already there. Value area low is there as well. 322. Okay, that's within tolerances here. Okay. All right. So yeah. So right now, it appears that we need to look at opportunities to the bullish side in the Nasdaq. I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking to the left here to see if there's anything that could stall price here to the left hand side. Well, we have 21,700. Okay, this could be an area of resistance. Okay, and it could also maybe serve maybe as a target for this current move. Okay, that's a possibility. All right. And maybe 21,800. Okay, so this area right here, I would expect to be somewhat resistant. Okay, I don't expect price to just plow through that area without some sort of stalling or maybe horizontal price action. Okay, all right. I think that's it for Nasdaq. We're going to go ahead and move on to the ES here. Take a look at the ES. Yes, ASR will move on open, correct. On the open of the session, correct. Okay. All right. Let's see. So all right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the daily here. Okay. And we're going to turn off our indications. You're welcome, Farador. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance, turn off ASR and ADR for the moment. Okay. You're welcome, Frizu. All right. Move on to the daily. Take a look at what the daily's doing. Okay. We can see that the daily chart is again beginning to show signs that it wants to break above. Okay. So we have our channel here that we've drawn in the past. Okay. To monitor this. So looks like we are breaking some new highs here on attempting to make new highs here in the ES. Okay. Similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ. All right. So bullish, I would say. We have the same channel here. We got the retest back and it's kind of rejected away from that channel and now has rallied. Okay. So we've kind of rallying on the ES on the 4-hour as well. Volume delta seems to be aligned with the general direction. So we have about, 15,000, 18,000 more buy orders than sell orders at the moment. Okay. So delta positive. Okay. So that's positive for those who are looking long. All right. 30-minute chart, we see that price is above our anchor VWAP, not anchor VWAP, but our daily VWAP I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchor VWAP because that was the next thing that I was going to take a look at here. This is the bottom of London. You can see that we're both prices above both our daily and anchored VWAP. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw in our fixed range volume profile. Okay. Fixed range volume profile. We'll look to the start of Thursday. It's right about here. And we're going to drag that across. Okay, there it is. Okay, so price is above value. All right. So there we are, above value right there. Okay. So yeah. So right now, like I said, similar to the NASDAQ, we are continuing to see price continuing to basically what we're saying is that the longs seem to be in control of the market at the moment. Again, I'm going to be looking here maybe on the 4-hour chart to see how far could this go here for now. I would say that it could easily get up to 6,050. Okay. That does not seem out of the ordinary before we could potentially see price stall here a little bit. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing on the 4-hour. Okay. We're going to go back to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Like I said, the next really thing that for me to look at is initial balance, but initial balance is another, 13 minutes away from opening here. So we're going to go ahead and add our levels to this market. Okay. Here are our levels. Okay, so these are the levels that we're tracking. You see that we have this 4-hour supply level at 60.50. Okay, we have price is above our daily and our anchor VWAP, above our EMAs. Everything is pointing to the upside in this market at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to wait and see how the market opens here. And decide if I do want to participate in this market, it's going to be at my term, right? So I need to see some sort of price event, right? And then maybe a pullback to that price event, and that will give me the confidence to participate in the long side, right? My mind will allow me to trade that. Okay. Storage aircraft added. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES right now, guys. I think the view is bullish. Okay, given some of the price action that we're seeing, I would say that it would be wise for us to wait for price to maybe come back to one of these areas, or wait for price to exceed like initial balance once it's established to decide exactly what direction the market wants to go. Okay, all right. We're going to close out with a review of the Dow. Okay. All right, so a review of the Dow. We're going to go ahead and look at the daily, just like we have for all the other markets, and ask ourselves the question, well, what is the market is trying to do? Well, it appears to me, okay, just from looking at this, that the Dow is a little bit further along on this move to the upside, okay? It's a little bit further along, all right? NASDAQ was just barely getting above and retesting some of these areas. I'm not sure. I think we had maybe one candle in the ES that was showing that was bullish, and the Dow is actually, I would say, a little bit further along in that general direction. Okay, so we've broken some structure here. We're attempting to maybe break some structure here. Okay, really, 45,000, 44,000 does not seem out of the question in this market at the moment. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we're making our series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. Okay, so we've had this channel break to the upside with some volume. Okay. Volume has kind of dissipated, but we still continue to grind higher. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay, so 30-minute chart, we have our again, price is above our daily VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my anchor VWAP here. Okay, anchor VWAP as we're going to start with the let's see, this time frame here. I'm going to drag that across. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do anchor VWAP. I wanted to do a fixed range volume profile. There it is. Okay, so we're going to go this and then drag that across to here. Okay, so there's our fixed range volume profile. We see that price is above our value range. Again, indications that bulls are very much in control of the market here. Okay, all right, so there's our value range high. Okay, and then I'm assuming that we've already exceeded maybe some of our average daily ranges. Okay, we just exceeded those. Average session range is also similar here. Okay, so yeah, so average session range still has a ways to go before we exceed that, but I don't see any reason why we can't reach there. Okay, um, given what kind of price action we're seeing at the moment. Okay, we got a nice little pullback here. Actually, a lot of respect of the daily VWAP here as we trek higher in this market. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here. I'm going to locate London, which is right about here. Okay, and you can see that price is above that. There's a lot of longs during the London session. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else that I want to call out here? So guys, I don't have, I mean, I'm calling out some reference levels, but I don't map out levels in the same way as I do the other markets here in the Dow. Good morning, Robin. So I don't map the same levels here, but hopefully you can see some of these levels, right? We have the 43,714, which is our ADR high. We have 43,453, which is our average, which is our value area high. Okay. So those are a couple of levels that I'm going to be tracking. I don't believe we'll get to the low here today. It doesn't appear so. Anyway, so yeah, so this value area high level will be an interesting level for me to see if there's a to see if I for a participation. Okay, that would be a reasonable area. This area right here would be a reasonable area as well. You know, off of the anchor VWAP or off of the daily VWAP. These are all logical levels for a continuation area, right? For a move higher. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Dow. Trying to see if there's anything else that I should be calling out here, guys. I'm happy to entertain any questions, guys. I was going to maybe spend a little bit of time to kind of talk through the portal review because this is going to close our week of open to public analysis. Okay, we're going to go back to our membership again. You're welcome, Jefferson. Okay, so we're going to move back to our membership, behind the membership for this analysis. So maybe I'll spend a little bit of time here on the levels here so that you understand them. Okay, or not understand them, the membership levels, I should say. Okay, and we'll close off with that. Okay. All right. And then that's kind of, we'll conclude our week of opening up our analysis to the public here. And then maybe we'll just have one day a week where we do our opening. Okay. So in nonetheless, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button or the likes. Okay. Don't be afraid to comment on how this analysis has supported your efforts. All these are very beneficial and give me the continued confidence to continue to do what I do here. Okay. So let's see. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and locate some of this information if I can find it. Okay, here we go. See if I can find this. I'm not having a little bit of trouble finding it at the moment. Okay, well, it looks like the membership link is not available to me at the moment. So, guys, we'll just go ahead and we'll pause it here, guys. Respond to any questions. Yeah, the only way I report these through Twitter. Okay, Farador. Okay, when I do open to public sessions, or X, I should say. Okay, so if you go to X, you can find I will report when I do public sessions. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for now, guys. The only thing I wanted to say that we do have 3 levels here. Unfortunately, I don't have a link to those at the moment. Okay. 3 main levels. We have the starter, we have the plus, and then we have the pro. Starter is provides access to all the recorded videos that I have. Plus would give you access to this. That's for just like $49 a month. We'll give you access to these live sessions. And then we have the Market Trader Pro, which will open up access to folks to watch me trade live. And that would be $99 a month. Okay. So I will figure out why my link is not available here at the moment and work from there. But we'll go ahead and close the session, guys. Wishing you guys to trade well, to trade safe, to trade like a pro, and trade like a market trader, guys. Thanks again for your support. Don't be afraid to hit the like and subscribe as you exit the door or exit the session. And thanks again for all your support till date. All right, have an excellent session today. Capital preservation today. Okay, so if you had a good week, it's a good week to kind of lay low. Reduce risk and make sure that you walk away with a profitable week. All right. Have a good day.